Hello, world. My name is Alicia, your host here on What the Fuck Are We Doing? And tonight, well, let's be honest, I have no idea what's happening. Kareen's got something in store for us, and also it's something we're going to be talking about something that one of our listeners actually wanted us to talk about, which I think is quite awesome. So, thank you, listener, for that. Appreciate it so much, and I'm going to give you over to my lovely co-host, Kareen, next to me. There we go. What have you got for us?
Hi. Anyway, well, I told her we'll give her a shout out.
Oh,
she
brilliant.
said we
Cool.
can say her name. So, Ursula, hi. This one is especially for you. She asked me today if we can discuss it as so little people actually have knowledge about it.
All right.
It is once again a mental illness.
Okay.
She felt very strongly about it. So she asked me nicely if we can do it. And I'm like,
Yeah, of
okay,
course.
yeah,
Cool.
sure,
No
why not?
problem.
Let's do it. So I quickly did the research.
So we're going a bit heavy again tonight.
Yes, I'm
Okay.
sorry,
No,
guys.
no
but
worries.
we do what our listeners want.
Yeah.
So
It's kind of also a little bit of the aim of the game.
yeah, I almost did it again.
She nearly spoke off her
You
cards,
understand,
guys.
right? So there's so yeah, we're talking about bipolar disorder.
Mm.
I think I
A bit
mentioned.
of a hectic one.
Did I say it? No, I just said mental illness.
Yes,
Anyway.
yes.
So I'm not going to give you guys the names of the articles, but I will put the descriptions in the link below. In the description below, I will put the links to the articles for you.
Nailed it.
If you want to go and read it for yourself. Well, I don't really want to talk about my personal experience with bipolar, so I'm not going to go into
No,
it.
that's cool.
That was, yeah, it's not something I want to relive tonight. Maybe in another stage, but not now. Okay, so here is everything you need to know about bipolar disorder. So what is bipolar disorder? Bipolar disorder is a mental illness marked by extreme shifts in mood. Symptoms can include an extremely elevated mood called mania. They can also include episodes of depression. Bipolar disorder is also known as bipolar disease or manic depression. People with bipolar disorder may have trouble managing everyday life tasks at school or work or maintaining relationships. There is no cure, but there are many treatment options available that can help to manage the symptoms. Okay, then some bipolar disorder facts. Bipolar disorder isn't a rare brain disorder. In fact, 2.8% of US adults, or about 5 million people, have been diagnosed with it. The average age when people with bipolar disorder begin to show symptoms is 25 years old. So we're good.
Yeah, I think we're okay.
We're 2 years
think
past
so.
that mark. Depression caused by bipolar disorder lasts at least 2 weeks. A high manic episode can last for several days or weeks. Some people will experience episodes of changes in mood several times a year, while others may experience them only rarely. So, yeah,
So it basically depends on how bad you've got it.
I think so,
How your
yes.
moods will be shifting from, for example, a bi-weekly basis to a bi-quarterly or every 6
yearly.
months or whatever.
Yeah, I guess so. I can't really. Well, I can actually.
But we
yes,
won't go into
but
that.
that is the fact. And if you don't medicate correctly, it's a big problem.
Yeah.
Anyway, bipolar disorder symptoms. There are 3 main symptoms that can occur with bipolar disorder: mania, hypomania, and depression. While experiencing mania, a person with bipolar disorder may feel an emotional high. They feel excited, impulsive, euphoric, and full of energy. During manic episodes, they may also engage in behaviors such as spending sprees, unprotected sex, and drug use.
Hectic.
Hypomania is generally associated with bipolar 2 disorder. It's similar to mania, but it's not as severe. Unlike mania, hypomania may not result in any trouble at work, school, or in social relationships. During an episode of depression, you may experience deep sadness, hopelessness, loss of energy, lack of interest in activities they once enjoyed, periods of too little or too much sleep, and suicidal thoughts. Although it's not a rare condition, bipolar disorder can be hard to diagnose because of its varied symptoms. So that when people are like, yeah, every person who knows bipolar, that's bullshit. Because like they said, it's very hard to diagnose actually.
So sorry to interrupt, because I think maybe every single person that has the disorder probably experiences it, so differently to, like, I mean, I both of us could have it, for example.
Exactly.
And you might experience it in one way and me in a completely different way.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Because we're
It's
all
understandable.
human, we experience feelings differently.
Yeah, and I mean, like,
And
everyone,
emotions.
yeah, everyone, has a shift in mood, but just because you're on top of the world today and tomorrow you feel like you've got the whole world on your shoulders, it doesn't
Well, if you're
necessarily...
female, your period might just
Yeah,
have
it might
started.
have a massive influence on that. I mean, like, I get my stages. Look, I'm not big on sweet stuff, like I've mentioned, I think, in one of the earlier podcasts. But,
Yes.
like, some stages, I just want to binge on anything that looks like
And then
chocolates.
we know.
Then, then you can start counting down the days, guys. Okay, that's too much information, I know,
Okay.
but it's fine.
So the bipolar disorder symptoms in women. Men and women are diagnosed with bipolar disorder in equal numbers. However, the main symptoms of the disorder may be different between the two genders. In many cases, a woman with bipolar disorder may be diagnosed later in life in her 20s or 30s, or have milder episodes of mania, experience more depressive episodes than manic episodes, have 4 or more episodes of mania and depression in a year, which is called rapid cycling, experience other conditions at the same time, including thyroid disease, obesity, anxiety disorders, and migraines. And they have a higher lifetime risk of alcohol use disorder.
So basically what you're saying, because I mean, like they say, like I believe it was mid to late 20s or late 20s, early 30s, there's still a chance that we could be screwed.
Yeah, I just realized we're fucked.
Well, that was blunt.
Until we're like in 35, and then the early stages of menopause starts.
So then either way, you're still
women
fucked.
are basically, yeah.
So from the age of what, like, well, it depends on your body, but like 12, you're screwed.
Okay, and then they also say women with bipolar disorder may also relapse more often than men. This is believed to be caused by hormonal changes related to menstruation, pregnancy, or menopause.
There it is.
So they say if you're a woman and you think that you may have a bipolar disorder, it's important for you to get all the facts and seek medical attention. Obviously. Please, people. Again,
Just
then
look after
there's the
yourselves.
symptoms in men. Men with bipolar disorder may be diagnosed earlier in life, experience more severe episodes, especially manic episodes, have substance abuse issues, act out during manic episodes. Men with bipolar disorder are less likely than women to seek medical care on their own. They're also more likely to die by suicide.
Jeez, okay, that's quite hectic. Now, I think, I'm not trying to be sexist or anything here, but I think the reason maybe that men wouldn't easily seek out that medical attention is, I don't know if it could be like a pride thing.
I think honestly
feel
it might
emasculine.
be. Yeah, because I don't know, men are raised being like, you're the man of the house, you should always be the supportive one and be supportive towards everyone else. But they never teach them it's okay if you need help sometimes.
Yeah, like,
So I think it's an ego thing and a pride
yeah,
thing.
absolutely.
So I might be completely wrong.
Yeah, both of us could be. I mean, we
but
don't.
Yeah, I don't know men with bipolar, so
Yeah,
I can't
so
really.
it's not, I can't like pinpoint anything like that.
Okay, so the types of bipolar disorder. There are 3 main types of bipolar disorder: bipolar 1, bipolar 2, and cyclothymia. Never heard of it in my life.
Yeah, I like that. That's a weird word.
Just thought they might call it bipolar 3, but anyway.
I was just wondering if it would be like bipolar 3.
Okay, so bipolar 1 is defined by the appearance of at least one manic episode. You may experience hypomanic or major depressive episodes before and after the manic episode. This type of bipolar disorder affects men and women equally.
So that's basically a low, then a rapid high, then a rapid low again, basically
Yes.
like right after each other.
Yes.
So that's like probably, I would say...
So either you're very low, high, and then low again,
Yeah.
or either or the other
Or, you
way
know, the
around,
other way
high,
around.
low, high.
But that, like, you know, just look, I don't know about the others, but just from hearing that, I'd probably say that's maybe the worst one. The constant change in behavior or emotion. But, you know, let's find
Yeah,
out.
we'll
Stay
see
tuned.
now. Bipolar 2. People with this type of bipolar disorder experience one major depressive episode that lasts at least 2 weeks. They also have at least one hypomanic episode that lasts about 4 days. This type of bipolar disorder is thought to be more common in women. And then cyclothymia. People with cyclothymia have episodes of hypomania and depression. These symptoms are shorter and less severe than the mania and depression caused by bipolar 1 or bipolar 2 disorder. Most people with this condition only experience a month or two at a time where their moods are stable. When discussing your diagnosis, your doctor will be able to tell you what kind of bipolar disorder you have. So I think bipolar 1 is the worst one.
Yeah, that sounds right.
I'm not 100% sure, but, you know, as it sounds like. Bipolar disorder and depression. Bipolar disorder can have two extremes, up and down. To be diagnosed with bipolar, you must experience a period of mania or hypomania. People generally feel up in this phase of the disorder. When you're experiencing an up, change in mood, you may feel highly energized and be easily excitable. Some people with bipolar disorder, sorry guys, that's our washing machine.
If you can hear the beeping, yeah, we're trying to be adults.
Okay, some people with bipolar disorder will also experience a major depressive episode or a down mood. When you're experiencing a down change in mood, you may feel lethargic, unmotivated, and sad. However, not all people with bipolar disorder who have this symptom feel down enough to be labeled depressed. For instance, for some people, once their mania is treated, a normal mood may feel like depression because they enjoyed the high caused by the manic episode. While bipolar disorder can cause you to feel depressed, it's not the same as the condition called depression. Bipolar disorder can cause highs and lows, but depression causes moods and emotions that are always down. So don't get the two confused. Sorry. Causes of bipolar disorder. Bipolar is a common mental health disorder, but it's a bit of a mystery to doctors and researchers. It's not yet clear what causes some people to develop the condition and not others. Possible causes of bipolar disorder include genetics. If your parents or siblings has bipolar disorder, you're more likely than other people to develop the condition. Your brain. Your brain structure may impact your risk for the disease. Abnormalities in the structure or functions of your brain may increase your risk. Environmental factors. It's not just what's in your body that can make you more likely to develop bipolar disorder. Outside factors may contribute too. These factors can include extreme stress, traumatic experiences, and physical illness. Each of these factors may influence who develops bipolar disorder. What's more likely, however, is that a combination of factors contributes to the development of the disease.
That's actually quite hectic. Like, wow. I'm actually kind of shocked, to be quite honest. I didn't realize that, you know, something like stress or you know, like a physical illness or something could actually have that impact. But then again, I mean, your body works as a machine and everything has to work together. So it kind of makes sense to say that, you know, physical illness could.
And it's where that saying comes in, is that stress is the silent killer.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And again, with traumatic experiences, you know, it's always something that's going to stay in the back of your head.
Yeah, and with a
regardless.
traumatic experience, I feel there's some damage to the brain during that, because your brain works overtime to try and help you to forget it.
Yeah, and I think also in, you know, when you're going through a traumatic experience, like we all know that your body and your brain like goes into a fight or flight mode. And look, I don't know if that could have any kind of impact on the possibility of actually developing the disorder, or, you know, sort of speeding up the process or slowing down or eliminating the process, you know, completely. But yeah, again, guys, we're not doctors.
Didn't study this.
We didn't study this at all. So yeah, if you guys have any sort of opinion on the environmental, factors around that, like give us a shout. Let us know what you think, what you've experienced, etc.
Okay. Bipolar disorder diagnosis. A diagnosis of bipolar disorder 1 involves either one or more manic episodes or mixed episodes. It may also include a major depressive episode, but it may not. A diagnosis of bipolar 2 involves one or more major depressive episodes and at least one episode of hypomania. To be diagnosed with a manic episode, you must experience symptoms that last for at least 1 week or that cause you to be hospitalized. You must experience symptoms almost all day, every day during this time. Major depressive episodes, on the other hand, must last for at least 2 weeks. Bipolar disorder can be difficult to diagnose because mood swings can vary. It's even harder to diagnose in children and adolescents. This age group often has greater changes in mood, behavior, and energy levels. Bipolar disorder often gets worse if it's left untreated. Episodes may happen more often or become more extreme, but if you receive treatment for your bipolar disorder, it's possible for you to lead a healthy and productive life. Therefore, diagnosis is very important. Bipolar disorder symptom test. One test result doesn't make a bipolar disorder diagnosis. Instead, your doctor will use several tests and exams. These may include physical exam. Your doctor will do a full physical exam. They may also order blood or urine tests to rule out other possible causes of your symptoms. Mental health evaluation. Your doctor may refer you to a mental health professional such as a psychologist or a psychiatrist. These doctors diagnose and treat mental health conditions such as bipolar disorder. During the visit, they will evaluate your mental health and look for signs of bipolar disorder. Mood journal. If your doctor suspects your behavior changes are the result of a mood disorder like bipolar, they may ask you to chart your moods. The easiest way to do this is to keep a journal of how you're feeling and how long these feelings last. Your doctor may also suggest that you record your sleeping and eating patterns. Diagnostic criteria. The Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders is an outline of symptoms for various mental health disorders. Doctors can follow this list to confirm a bipolar diagnosis. Your doctor may use other tools and tests to diagnose bipolar disorder in addition to these. The treatment of bipolar. Several treatments are available that can help you manage your bipolar disorder. These include medications, counseling, and lifestyle changes. The medications. Recommended medications may include mood stabilizers such as lithium, antipsychotics such as olanzapine, antidepressants or antipsychotics such as fluoxetine and olanzapine. People, I'm so sorry, but these are like
those are some big words.
Yes. Benzodiazepines, a type of anti-anxiety medication such as alprazolam, or also known as Xanax, that may be used for short-term treatment. Then psychotherapy. Recommended psychotherapy treatments may include cognitive behavioral therapy. Cognitive behavioral therapy is a type of talk therapy. You and your therapist talk about ways to manage your bipolar disorder. They will help you understand your thinking patterns. They can also help you come up with positive coping strategies. Psychoeducation.
That sounds hectic. Psychoeducation.
Psychoeducation is a kind of counseling that helps you and your loved ones understand the disorder. Knowing more about bipolar disorder will help you and others in your life to manage it. Interpersonal and social rhythm therapy. This focuses on regulating daily habits such as sleeping, eating, and exercising. Balancing these everyday basics can help you manage your disorder. Other treatment options include electroconvulsive therapy, sleep medications, supplements, and acupuncture. And then there are also some simple steps you can take right now to help manage your bipolar disorder. Keep a routine for eating and sleeping. Learn to recognize your mood swings. Ask a friend or relative to support your treatment plans. Talk to a doctor or a licensed healthcare provider. Other lifestyle changes can also help relieve depressive symptoms caused by bipolar disorder. Guide to bipolar disorder and relationships. Romance and bipolar disorder. The shifts in mood associated with bipolar disorder can cause extreme changes in behavior. During manic episodes, a person with bipolar disorder can have an unusual amount of energy and may not be able to sleep. When experiencing depressive episodes, a person with bipolar disorder can seem tired and sad. They may not want to go out or do things. These major shifts in mood can make communicating and socializing difficult. While the symptoms of bipolar disorder can be managed with medication and psychotherapy, they can still take a toll on relationships, perhaps especially romantic ones.
I think that could also, especially if you got the disorder and you're dating someone who doesn't understand it, and they just think you're just being bitchy or you're just moody or grumpy or whatever. Yeah, I can definitely see that could take a toll on someone. I mean, to begin with, it can't be easy being in a relationship and trying to understand what exactly your partner is feeling, especially if they're not medicating themselves. That I think could be potentially dangerous, actually. Again, I don't know much about the disorder. I haven't been with anyone that has the disorder, or friendships romantically, etc. So yeah, it's kind of hard for me to give any kind of input on this, but you're very interesting. And yeah, sorry guys, like I don't know if you heard, Corrine was going a bit quiet every now and again. So she has mentioned on one of the earlier podcasts that I'm scared shitless of bugs. And there's this bug that was flying around the house, because of course we're coming at you live from our dining room table. And yeah, I'm not a fan. So I was just hoping and praying this thing doesn't come close to me. And she's just kind of looking at me with this confused look, like, dude, what are you doing? And I'm just continue, just keep going. And she then realized, of course, what was happening. But yeah, off topic. Sorry about that.
Okay, romantic relationships when you have bipolar disorder. If you have bipolar, you may already be familiar with the impact your condition can have on a romantic relationship. You may feel nervous about starting a new relationship and finding the right time to tell your partner you have bipolar disorder. These concerns are understandable, but it's important to keep in mind that you can have a healthy romantic relationship. For the best chance of success in a new relationship, be sure to communicate openly and follow your treatment plan. What you can do. Okay, so this is for people with bipolar. This is a few steps that they put out here that you can do to make your life better in your relationship, or if you're thinking of starting one. What you can do: tell your partner about your disorder. Do this before you make a long-term commitment to that person. Describe what they can expect when you're experiencing a mood shift. It's also helpful to tell them what you usually do to manage your moods. This way, your partner won't be surprised when you experience a mood episode. They may even be able to help you get through it. Stick with your treatment plan. Perhaps the best way to reduce relationship stress is to follow your treatment plan. This can help minimize your symptoms and reduce the severity of your mood shifts. Discuss your treatment plan with your partner so they can help you keep on track. Keep an open line of communication. Tell your partner when you feel a mood shift occurring so they are not alarmed by a sudden change in your demeanor. Also be open to them when they tell you that they notice that your mood is different. Many times others can see changes in our mood when we cannot. Be honest. If you're having a severe episode and struggling with your symptoms, don't hesitate to notify your partner and ask for help when you need it. For example, if you're experiencing a depressive episode and don't feel like leaving the house, explain this to your partner instead of making an excuse to stay home.
think also just in general, when it comes to relationships, regardless whether you have a mental illness or not, I think just keeping an open line of communication is very important because, I mean, you might have your reasons for either wanting to do something in a certain way or not wanting to do something at all. And it's hard for us as humans to understand that. But, I mean, the least you can do for one another is just have that open line of communication, just to kind of help your partner, or even, in friendships, just to help each other understand one another. It's just, I don't know, I think communication is a very important thing to me in general.
Yeah.
Although it is something I do struggle with personally.
Okay. So if you're dating someone with bipolar, dating someone with bipolar disorder can be challenging because you can't control when your partner experiences a mood shift. To help your relationship succeed, focus on communication, support your partner's treatment plan, and don't forget to take care of yourself. What you can do: educate yourself. This is the first thing you should do when you start a relationship with someone who has bipolar disorder. Read about the condition so you understand what your partner is dealing with and what you'll be dealing with. People, I can't stress how important this is. And it's any mental illness, not just bipolar. If your partner opens up to you even before you start dating and telling you they've got this mental illness, go and educate yourself on the mental illness. Don't just go in blindly. Because if you don't have it or have never dealt with it, you won't understand anything that person is going through. So that is like top. Educate yourself. Ask about their experience. Ask your partner how they act during shifts in mood and what they do to manage their mood. It's also beneficial to ask them what you can do, if anything, to help them during these episodes. Try to be patient. It can be frustrating if your partner's mood shifts interfere with your dating plans. When times get tough, take a deep breath and remember it's the condition, not your partner, that's causing your frustration. Take a break if you need one, whether that's taking a walk around the block or spending a weekend away from your partner. Be open. It's important to communicate openly with your partner, to tell them how you feel, but never blame them for their disorder. Support their care. Your partner's best chance of managing their condition lies in following their treatment plan. You can show your support for them by helping them stick with the treatment plan created by their doctor. Get support when you need it. Sometimes you may need some help coping with your partner's condition and the effect it's having on your relationship. Make sure you have your own support system of friends, loved ones, and counselors who can provide advice and encouragement when you need it.
Yeah, again, that just it all boils down to having an open line of communication, and just trying to understand, one another in general. Yeah, I don't know. I can't really stress enough how important communication is just generally. I mean, if you want to be with someone, regardless of their situation, or mental illness in this case, you need to try and at least try and understand them. And as Karine mentioned, if you do get frustrated, you need to remind yourself it's not the person, it's their disorder or their mental illness or whatever it may be. I think it's just going to give you a bit of a how can I put it, it's going to give you some comfort knowing that you're not dating someone who's, I don't know if I may say off the rails, but it's something that they're struggling with, and they're probably feeling whatever frustration you're feeling, they're probably feeling it 10 or 20 times worse. So just give them a break and just try and understand. Just take a deep breath and carry on with your day. Just try to get them. Listen, actually.
Okay, so that is on relationships. So bipolar disorder and the family. Living with a person who has bipolar disorder can cause stress and tension in the home. On top of the challenge of dealing with your loved one's symptoms and their consequences, family members often struggle with feelings of guilt, fear, anger, and helplessness. Ultimately, the strain can cause serious relationship problems, but there are different ways to cope. The first step to successfully dealing with bipolar disorder is for families to learn to accept the illness and its difficulties. When you're feeling frustrated or guilty, remember that bipolar disorder isn't anyone's fault. Accepting bipolar disorder involves acknowledging that things may never again be normal. Treatment can make a huge difference for your loved one, but it may not take care of all symptoms and impairments. Okay, then they're giving us a few tips for the family to cope with the bipolar disorder. Accept your loved one's limits. Your loved one with bipolar disorder can't control their moods. They can't just snap out of a depression or get a hold of themselves during a manic episode. Neither depression nor mania can be overcome through self-control, willpower, or reasoning. So telling your loved one to stop acting crazy or to look on the bright side won't help for shit. Okay, they didn't put in for shit, but that's like, you fucking daft if you think that's gonna help.
Yeah.
Accept your own limits. You can't rescue your loved one with bipolar disorder, nor can you force them to take responsibility for getting better. You can offer support, but ultimately, recovery is in the hands of the person with the illness. Reduce stress. Stress makes bipolar disorder worse, so try to find ways to reduce stress in your loved one's life. Ask how you can help and volunteer to take over some of the person's responsibilities if needed. Establishing and enforcing a daily routine with regular times for getting up, having meals, and going to bed can also reduce family stress. And then communicate openly. Open and honest communication is essential to coping with bipolar disorder in the family. Share your concerns in a loving way. Ask your loved one how they're feeling and make an effort to truly listen, even if you disagree with your loved one or don't relate to that what's being said. Okay, then convincing a person with bipolar disorder to see a doctor. Aside from offering emotional support, the best way to help your loved one with bipolar is by encouraging and supporting treatment. Often that can be more of a challenge than it sounds. If your loved one won't acknowledge the possibility of bipolar disorder, don't argue about it. The idea may be frightening to them, so be sensitive. Here's some things that you can say that might help. Bipolar disorder is a real illness. Like diabetes, it requires medical treatment. You're not to blame for bipolar disorder. You didn't cause it. It's not your fault. You can feel better. There are many treatments that can help. When bipolar disorder isn't treated, it usually gets worse. Okay, and then there's things you can do to support a loved one's bipolar disorder treatment. Find qualified doctors and therapists. Set up appointments and go along. Offer your insights to the doctor. Monitor your loved one's moods. Learn about their medications. Track treatment progress. Watch for signs of relapse. Alert the doctor to any problems that there might be. Okay. Encourage your loved one to take their bipolar disorder medication. Medication is the cornerstone of treatment for bipolar disorder, and most people need it to regulate their moods and avoid relapse. Despite the need for medication, many people with bipolar stop taking it. Some quit because they're feeling better, others because of side effects, and yet others because they enjoy the symptoms of mania. You can help your loved one stay on track by emphasizing the importance of medication and making sure they take all prescriptions as directed. Side effects can be very unpleasant if the dose of the medication is too low or too high, but a change in medication or dosage may solve the problem. Remind your loved one that abruptly stopping medication is dangerous and it might actually kill someone. But anyway, watch for warning signs of bipolar disorder relapse. Even if your loved one with bipolar disorder is committed to treatment, there may be times when their symptoms get worse. Take action right away if you notice any troubling symptoms or mood change. Okay, then the mania warning signs and symptoms. Sleeping less, elevated mood, restlessness, speaking rapidly, increase in activity level, I don't know, irritability or aggression. Damn, son. Okay, then depression warning signs and symptoms. Fatigue and lethargic. Lethargy. Fuck's sakes. We've got this. Sleeping more, trouble concentrating, loss of interest in activities, withdrawing from others, and change in appetite. Coping with mania and depression, tips for family and friends. Don't take bipolar symptoms personally. When in the midst of a bipolar episode, people often say or do things that are hurtful or embarrassing. When manic, your loved one may be reckless, cruel, critical, and aggressive. When depressed, they may be rejecting, irritable, hostile, and moody. It's hard not to take such behaviors personally, but try to remember that they're symptoms of your loved one's mental illness, not the result of selfishness or immaturity. Be prepared for destructive behaviors. When manic or depressed, people with bipolar disorder may behave in destructive or irresponsible ways. Planning ahead for how to handle such behavior can help. When your loved one is well, negotiate a treatment contract that gives you advance approval for protecting them when symptoms flare up. Agree on specific steps you'll take, such as removing credit cards or car keys, going together to the doctor, or taking charge of household finances. Know what to do in a crisis. It's important to plan ahead for times of crisis so you can act quickly and effectively when it occurs. Having a crisis plan can help. Make sure to include a list of emergency contact information for doctors, therapists, and other friends or family members who will help. Also include the address and phone number of the hospital where you'll take your loved one if necessary. Call 911 or your country's emergency service number in an emergency. If your loved one with bipolar disorder is suicidal or violent, don't try to handle the situation alone. If you're worried that your loved one may hurt you, get to safety and then call the police. If your loved one is suicidal, don't leave them alone. Call for an ambulance and stay with your loved one until it arrives. Well, people,
It's pretty hectic.
that's basically, I don't know. I feel people don't give bipolar enough attention. Then the last one, supporting someone who is manic. Manic. Why does it feel like I'm saying it wrong?
It's right.
Spend time with your loved one. People who are manic often feel isolated from other people. Spending even short periods of time with them helps. If your loved one has lots of energy, walk together. This allows your loved one to keep on the move but still share your company. Answer questions honestly. However, do not argue or debate with someone during a manic episode. Try to avoid intense conversation. Don't take any comments personally. During manic episodes, your loved one may say or do things that are out of character, including focusing on negative aspects of others. Try to avoid arguments. Prepare easy to eat meals and drinks. It's often difficult for someone who is manic to sit down to a meal, so try offering them sandwiches, apples, cheese crackers, or juice, for example. Excuse me. Avoid subjecting your loved one to a lot of activity and stimulation. It's better to keep surroundings as quiet as possible. Allow your loved one to sleep whenever possible. During periods of high energy, sleeping is difficult, but short naps taken throughout the day can help. Sometimes a person who is manic may feel rested after only a few hours of sleep. Taking care of yourself when a loved one has bipolar disorder. It's easy to neglect your own needs when you're supporting someone with a mental illness. But if you don't take care of yourself, you run the risk of burnout, and that won't help you or your loved one. When you take care of yourself, both emotionally and physically, you'll be able to better cope with the stress of caring for someone with bipolar disorder and have the energy you need to support your loved one's recovery. Focus on your own life. Supporting your loved one may involve some life adjustments, but make sure you don't lose sight of your own goals and priorities. Don't give up friendships, plans, or activities that bring you joy. Seek support. Dealing with loved one's mental illness can be painful and isolating. Make sure you're getting the emotional support you need to cope. Talk to someone you trust about what you're going through. It can also help to get your own therapy or join a support group. Set boundaries. Be realistic about the amount of care you're able to provide without feeling overwhelmed and resentful. Set limits on what you're willing and able to do and stick to them. Letting bipolar disorder take over your life isn't healthy for you or your loved one. Manage stress. Stress takes a toll on the body and mind, so find ways to keep it in check. Make sure you're eating right and getting enough sleep and exercise. You can also keep stress under control by practicing relaxation techniques such as meditation, not medication. Sorry,
very confused there for a
meditation.
second.
My bad. Ask for help. If your friend or family member needs more assistance, then you can ask for help from others. Turn to other relatives or close friends or contact a bipolar disorder support organization.
I'm just
That is all she wrote.
just thinking about what Corinne said earlier about if your loved ones do, or a loved one, if he or she acts out and says things that are quite personal or very hurtful or whatever the case may be, you kind of do have a tendency to take things like that personal, and you kind of justify the behavior by just saying, oh no, he's being a dick, or she's just being a bitch, or whatever the case may be. And only later, it's kind of like there's a glitch in your brain at that stage, and you don't really, or you just want to be like, what, you're just using the bipolar as an excuse to behave this way. And it's really not the case. I mean, like I've said, I've never actually been involved with anyone in any kind of relationship that has the disorder, but I mean, it's not fair to say to someone, you're just using your disorder as an excuse to behave the way you do. I don't think that's fair at all. And if I have ever encountered anyone with that, and if I've ever said something like that, I feel like I feel a bit like, I don't know, that's hectic, and it's a bit of a reality check for everyone, I think. I don't know, Corinne, what are your thoughts on that?
Because the reason why people say that is because they're not educated on it. The thing is, you can love a person unconditionally, but if you're not educated on whatever they are dealing with, whatever mental illness they have, you both are just going to burn out. Because you're going to keep on arguing about things that you say, for instance, they're just too sensitive about it. Meanwhile, they're not sensitive. They might be dealing with bipolar, or they have depression, or there's a lot of mental illnesses out there that we don't take seriously enough. And yes, it is easy for someone to say, oh no, but I've got bipolar. Yeah, no, you don't. If you're just trying to make a mental illness that is actually very, very dangerous to use that as an excuse for your shitty behavior. Because there are people out there that does it, and it pisses me off. Because there's actually people that struggle with it, and then you just want to say, oh no, I'm just bipolar. No, you're not.
And guys, honestly, self-diagnosis, when it comes to something like this, it's not a thing, hey? I mean, get the professionals to do it.
You just heard it is difficult for even doctors to diagnose it. So how can you, that have not even studied the basic medical, I'm not even talking about psychiatrists.
No.
How can you just all of a sudden, no, I've got bipolar. I'm a shitty person because I've got two people living inside me. Yeah, that's not what bipolar is. But, okay. I just think you're fucking crazy or you're possessed. One of the two.
No, I think that's just an excuse for
being a
behavior.
shitty person.
Yeah, like you mentioned earlier. Yeah. So, guys, if you think that you might have bipolar, or living with someone who might have the disorder,
if you want to share your stories with us, and please feel free. If you don't want us to air it, it's fine. Then we won't read it on air, but we'll read it.
We'll read it to
ourselves, and we'll support you guys. Because I think, as you guys probably noticed by now, I feel I'm a very big supporter on people with mental illnesses, because it's a thing that affects me dearly. I don't want to get into it, but it is close to me. So I would like to be as supportive to so many people as possible without having to be a psychologist or a psychiatrist. because I'm not going to go study that.
Yeah, because let's be honest, we're not qualified, guys. So,
Yeah, and you're like,
again, don't
you
quote
know,
us.
it's just that friend that you have that no one else knows about, and you can tell this friend anything, and they won't judge because they don't know you and your way of living and all that stuff. So yeah, but so guys, so as you can hear, we've officially did our first request episode today. So yeah, come on guys, hit us up, Facebook,
Twitter,
email.
Leave comments
Give us
on YouTube.
suggestions of what you guys want to hear us blab about next. As you can hear, we clearly do our research on everything we talk about before we talk about it. I just feel I want to leave you guys more informed than you were before you started listening to the episode.
Yeah.
Well, I hope I give you something, but yeah, I'll do the research, you do the listening.
Well, depending on what it is, because, you know, sometimes I do actually do research. I mean, like yesterday.
Yeah, it was, I think we only had one episode where we didn't do research.
Yeah, that was last week Friday.
Yeah,
that was
when
more like
it was the shits, giggles, and background.
Yeah,
episode.
exactly
Yeah.
that. And I think also, you know, it's good to have an episode like that. Because, I mean, you know, we don't always want to keep it serious. We don't always want to keep it, you know, dark or whatever, you know. I mean, especially when it comes to weekends, guys. Like, we don't want to put a damp on your weekend, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, yeah, we'll keep
So
it
no
lighter.
pressure for me, I guess, because...
Look, if you want, we can do shits, giggles, and, you know, background part too. I don't know. So, but yeah, like, you know, again, if you guys want to get in touch with us, please don't be shy. We'd love to hear from you. And
just a big thank you for all our followers and supporters. Thank you guys so much for your support in us doing this random thing. This is really not something that we planned on doing, but I think it's something that we're gonna see through.
Yeah, we're gonna probably continue doing this, and I mean, we're having fun doing it. We're learning a lot ourselves, which is awesome. So I feel like it's a win-win, and like Karine said,
and just like, so this is how we'll know if you listen to this whole thing about us just blabbing on about shit afterwards. Please go and vote on Facebook. We'll make a comment, just a random comment, and on this comment it will state, what do you think? Okay, and on this comment you must have, it's going to be a hug or a cry face. You know, do you get a cry face on Facebook?
Yes, you do.
Okay, but with the likey thing.
Yes.
You know, the care or the laughing face. Let's just say the laughing face. I don't want sad face. I don't want sad faces. Do you guys, because I think this is like the best idea ever, and Alicia thinks I'm stupid for it. Do you guys want us to do an interview with Belly? This is a serious question.
I don't think it's
We
stupid.
will do a video.
Yeah, we will do.
We will
video.
record her, not us, but we will record her. And then if you guys think it's a good idea, pop us some questions you want us to ask her.
Look, I think it's going to be a very short video because I think she might just look at us in surprise, like, what are you guys doing with the camera?
I think she will be like, what the fuck? Get that thing out of my face.
Then again, well, I think she's going to say to us, what the fuck are you doing? And, you know,
you're not we,
again,
you.
So it explains everything. Here we go. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for listening in. And again, like, subscribe, follow, tweet, whatever you want to do. Get in touch with us. Send us emails. Talk to us. Like, I don't think we scary or like bad people or anything like that.
No, it's pretty good.
Yeah, we'd be pretty chilled. But yeah, thanks for listening in, and we will catch you guys pretty soon. And yeah, have an awesome day or evening, depending where you are in the world. And that's been us. That's me. That's me, your host Alicia, and with my co-host Karine. Have an awesome time, and you know, be there for one another. Talk to each other, damn it.
Yeah, and that's all she wrote, people.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.